Hello guys, welcome to another concept video. Today I will explain why brawlers that don't have a hyper are falling off and making new hypers for them. I think that these brawlers are getting used less and less for one main reason. One of the worst feelings in Brawl Stars is when everyone pops their hyper at once but your brawler doesn't have one. This has a bigger effect than you think. There are 16 brawlers without a hypercharge. These are all of those brawlers that are in the top 70 most played. You heard me right, 11 of the 20 least used brawlers don't have a hyper, so I'll try to give them hypercharges myself. Let's start off with Bonnie, who I'm sure many of you came to see. I had to rework her a bit, so pause to read. And I purposed the hypercharge to negate her weaknesses. Doug, however, is the only brawler I won't give a hyper in this vid because he needs a whole one for himself. The vid is coming soon. The biggest victims of the hyper problem are the Law trio, particularly Larry and Laurie. So I finally buffed them with their hyper. Don't blame me, it's hard to make a spawnable have a creative hyper. RT's hyper will probably end up being lower half is invincible. But that's lame Ingle, so I made a more creative one. I didn't know where else to put Byron, but special mention for being the first added of all of these brawlers. Byron has quite a few mains even without hyper. Next up we have the Ghost trio, which was only completed recently with Shade. However, until Gus's hyper just being added, this was the last complete trio with no hyper. And unless you count Larry, Laurie and RT as a complete trio, it will stay that way. I've always seen Chuck as an extremely high-skilled brawler outside of Heist. Hopefully if they add a good hyper for him, then more people will use him. And I also wanted to give Shade a chainable hypercharge because that's more fun. Next are 3 overall victims. Draco and Juju are OP but nobody plays them. And I feel Mo can be easily saved with a hyper and small damage buff to his main attack. Shout out to Mr. Cord for this Mo hypercharge idea. And even with a spawnable, I made Grease creative. I'm surprised he doesn't already do this. Draco's one is a bit OP, but he's always been underrated, so it's kinda fair. It's scary how fast Meeple and Finks are being forgotten, especially Finks, who they are doing everything to make sure he isn't forgotten. They gave him a buff for no reason, an Inferno Wasabi and a Mecha skin. And nobody wants to play him because you can't auto-aim his attacks. Meeple has a much more confusing problem. His main attack is like a sniper, but his super sucks on open maps. So should you play him in open or closed maps? I made both this and Finks's extremely simple, and I copied Finks's Wasabi power, but while editing, I realized that it would have been a much cooler idea to make it so that his team's shots would home on enemies if they passed in his super. Either way it's broken. Last are the brawlers that don't really need a hyper. Well, not yet at least. Jae Young will be forgotten soon without one, but he's new RN. Lumi and Ali will be fine for another few months. And out of literally every brawler in the game, Kit needs a hyper, the least. And I'm too lazy to narrate after this, so here they are. I hope you enjoyed, since this video took a while to make, especially the hyper icons. The Doug vid will be soon, so bye for now.